Hi, welcome. So it is a rainy Sunday. I think it's August 10th. Yes. And I got caught out in the rain on a walk, and I thought, well, I'll go back home and see, because I wasn't sure how long it would last, but it's still raining. So I'm like, ooh, perfect chance to finally get out my cards that I brought to Costa Rica and do a reading. And it's been such a whirlwind this whole summer. So that's why I haven't had as many readings posted. Been on the road, out west, went camping a lot, which was wonderful. Obviously not a great place for doing readings. And then I'm down in Costa Rica for a month. So that whole whirlwind of all that activity, I just wasn't at home. And I was away from my babies. So what I did is I brought a handful of decks down, and I only brought one oracle deck. So I thought maybe we would start with pulling a card to reveal at the end. And this is from the Oracle of Pluto. And I'm really liking this. I haven't really pulled too many cards from this yet. By the way, I hope you can hear me. My AC has to kind of run once in a while because it is hot here. It is rainy season and it's humid, and I'm full of mosquito bites, even more than I am from the Midwest. So I thought we could do a reading for some collective energies you might be feeling. We'll see. And then we might also feel some of that full moon energy come in, if there's any truth to that. The idea that the full moon kind of pulls things up to the surface to illuminate, that we might be ready to release. So keep that in mind as you read into the cards with me. So we won't reveal this yet, but I'm going to pull one for the end. And because I'm doing it simple style, I only have this camera right now, so you won't be able to see the top-down view, but I'll try to show you the cards as we go. Now, what deck do we want to use? I was thinking we could use this Ethereal Visions. I think it's all the rage right now. I see it pop up now everywhere now that I have it. I had never seen it before. I found it in Seattle. So anyway, let's go. What kind of spread do we want to do? Okay, I'm going to do a 9 card. Let's just get into it. I think this rain's going to last a while. So watch this on double speed, because there might be a lot of talking. Okay. For the recent past, we're going to do like a past, present, future. Okay. We have the 4 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, the Ace of Cups. Okay. For the present, we have the 10 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 7 of Cups. Back it up. And some near future energy, what we're leading into, Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles, with an overall energy from the bottom of the deck. Oh, the Tower. Are we feeling it? Talk about full moon energy. Yikes. Yikes in a good way. All right. So right away, I am seeing that there's sort of like this story of past, present, future. And this is, when I say that, it's like probably what's with us right now. So what we may have been feeling pretty recently, and what we may be feeling going into the next whatever amount of time. It's not like years, although maybe for some of you it is. It feels like there's something almost like with this tower energy here for the overall, this might be a story of disruption. Okay, so that's why I said full moon energy. Like, that's when things feel maybe more disruptive, is when things are coming to the surface. Because it's like, have you ever thought of, I had this visual from when I was a kid swimming in our town. Our town has a lake, and I just remember, like, all of a sudden the bottom floated up to the top. So there are all these chunks of mud you're swimming in. It's like, what just happened? And somebody was like, yeah, that happens all the time. It's just the lake. It's just like the lake turns over. It's like, I don't like that. And that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, is this tower, and with the full moon, it's like this disruption. But that's like the cycle of things, right? And then it floats back down and the lake is clear again. Not our lake, because our lake ain't so clear. But you know. And I thought about that today when I was walking the beach, with the way the tides are on a cycle, where every 6 hours it alternates between high tide and low tide. The tide comes in gradually, so it's high tide, and then it goes back out for the next 6 hours, and it's low tide. And it slightly changes time, like, as it goes, because over the course of a week, like last week when I did my morning and evening walks, which were about 12 hours apart, 6 and 6, it was low tide. Now it's starting to be more of a high tide this week. So over time it changes that cycle. And I think, well, yeah, that has to happen, or else the beach would look totally different. It might actually be more eroded. It might just have it just might look like a totally different landscape and not be as walkable, right? There might not be as much beach left to walk if the tide was the same the whole time, just beating down the same sand over and over. So I think about this with that lake turning over, and the tides, and the tower, and the full moon. It's like things have to go through cycles in order for that renewal to come, or else it's just repetitive eroding away, or destruction without the rebirth. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in this story a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands, Seven of Swords, Ace of Cups. It's like, it feels like something that maybe there's like a hope for a new, renewed kind of partnership. You can say love, whatever. A hope for a renewed partnership in the home life, because right now it might feel a little like disillusioned, disheartened. And that may not be there is no objective reality, but it might not be the shared reality. It might just be one person's perspective, that it's like, can we get back to the way we were, or can we actually get even better than we were and than we are? So it seems like there's like some disillusionment with a partnership in the home life specifically. Okay. In the present, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. It almost feels like that even if the disillusionment of that partnership is not shared, it feels like the hope for a renewal is shared. And I say renewal versus, it's not a getting back to what we had. It feels like a renewal. It feels like, let's be better than we ever have been, okay? So there's the Ten of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Seven of Cups, is like this hope for like, what could we have? Let's dream big. Let's see what we can learn from where we've been. And then what's next? And then going forward, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. So there might be with that hope and trying to start off on a new foot, new path, new outlook. There are potentially just some like rocky starts, or maybe some like, it doesn't feel smooth. How do I do this? How do we do this together? And then you come out really strong. It's like a learning curve. That's all. Feels like a learning curve. But let's see. Okay. So, let's use these. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot. I love them, and they travel nicely because it's like they're thinner cards. I had to think of space. Do you know, when I left Costa Rica last time, earlier this year, back in like 6 months ago, I went through TSA, and I was on the Costa Rican side, and I'm going through TSA, and I had all my cards, and I had a lot more last time. I learned a big lesson. I don't need to bring that many. I had them all packed in my backpack. I get their TSA, and they pull me aside, and I'm like, okay, fine. They unzip my backpack, and the woman looks in, and she didn't really speak much English, and she looked at me like, and she started pulling them out, like out of the box, and going like pulling the cards apart, and just looking so confused. And she was basically asking me in Spanish, like Spanish English, what are they? Like, what are these for? And I'm like, they're cards. And then I finally just said, they're playing cards. And she's like, still so confused, and brought her other coworkers over, and they were all confused. And I was like, can I ask why that's a problem? And she said, it looks, in Spanish, I tried to piece it together. She's like, it looks like you're stealing something, because I have so many things of the same type. I'm like, oh yeah, looks like I'm bringing a big quantity of something in. It looks like I stole it. So finally they let me through. I think it was just too weird for them to deal with, so they're just like, so that's what there's just reminded of, like, yeah, I only brought a few decks this time, and I'll pack them in my suitcase. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go ahead and clarify the Tower. We have the Three of Wands, the Page of Swords again, and what's funny about that, and then we have the Five of Wands. What's funny to me about that, the Page of Swords came up right in the center of the clarification for the Tower, and the Page of Swords is right in the center of all 9 cards. And so it's funny because I do think about that card as embodying that, that inspiration. So it feels like a deep inspiration in this partnership, like that desire for renewal, like what can we learn, how can we grow? So I love that it came up, getting all the chills, right in the center of this Tower clarification and in the heart of the spread. This feels very hopeful. It feels like a very beautiful, tender heart energy. So in the Tower clarification, we have the Three of Wands, the Page of Swords and the Five of Wands. And to me right away, this is like looking out at, like, in the past, maybe there was some like maybe not meeting each other on the same page, or maybe feeling like, do they even get me? Do they even understand me? Like, do they really get me? And it's like, it feels like you have such a strong partnership, like a great foundation. Totally a great foundation, because that's what I see from the very first card to the very last card. The Four of Wands to the Three of Pentacles. Such a solid foundation. If there was any disillusionment, it feels like the kind that said, do they even understand me? Do they get me? Are we not, is our communication lacking? Like, how can, it feels like communication in a way. Just wanting to be understood or seen, and just be seen more authentically, okay? So that's what I get with this, and with also the desire to, like, what are we gonna build now? That's right here in the overall with that Three of Wands. Okay, so that's just a huge clarification of everything we just said, which is wonderful. Okay, let's go with the Four of Wands. We have the Knight of Swords, the Empress, ooh, and the Queen of Swords. That's very interesting. This does feel like communication in the home. This feels like, it almost feels like the divine, I almost wanted to say, like, there's this feeling of, what I'm struggling to express here is with the Queen of Swords and the Empress, and then we have the Knight of Swords. It feels like one of the partners wanting to be deeply appreciated and understood, and that same person like projecting out sort of a, like, you should just know how I feel sort of energy. Don't we all do that from time to time? When you don't feel like you're on the same page and you're tired of, like, I shouldn't have to tell you how I feel, or I shouldn't have to tell you I need help with this thing. You should know by now. Like, please help, you know. It might not be that situation, but it's that. It just feels like that. And it feels like a lot of energy going out with, like, expectation. Okay. Expectation and a little bit of a disgruntled feeling, you know. Just, yeah, that's what it really feels like with that. In the home life, one of the partners or both, like, again, that's exact. I don't want to clarify any further. What I said was exactly what it feels like. You should just know. I want you to see me for everything I am and appreciate me. There's that too. The appreciation piece is in there. I am, and that comes oftentimes with the more divine feminine energy. I don't want to say female, male. It's just we all embody both. Whoever might express more of the feminine, it feels like that part of the partnership. And at times we, you know, whoever might be more dominant in that way. All right, Seven of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles again. That's a good thing. confirmation. And then we have the moon, which is perfect when we're talking about full moon energy. And it's right there on that Seven of Swords, that deceptive energy, that disillusionment. Oh, this is really interesting. And strength. Told you, this is a really strong partnership that you can rely on that. Something here is, what this is telling me with this, you have the Three of Pentacles, which is a really strong start to something. Like like it truly embodies partnership, the Three of Pentacles. And then you have strength here and the moon. The foundation is so strong. It's saying that's what you can rely on. There's no risk of this crumbling. You have an amazing foundation. Don't question that. Don't question it, because the risk there with the Seven of Swords is that you start to perceive cracks in that foundation that aren't really there. And the perception is reality, right? And then it all crumbles away like that. The waves on the sand, it just erodes, and you don't want that. So just trust. That's a trust message of trust in that strength that your partnership has. It will stand the test of time as the tides go in and out. So let's do the Ace of Cups. We have the Lovers. This reading, I just love when they're so cohesive like this. It's just beautiful the way the cards are falling. So if this is for you, my heart's with you, and let me know if you have any questions after this, or if you want to do a deeper dive after this. We're not going to do an extended because this whole thing's extended. The Lovers, the Eight of Wands, and Justice. Oh my gosh, you guys. With this Ace of Cups, to me, this is that hope of a new emotional romantic start, heart-led start. Say the word romantic, and our culture gets like this specific type of romance, like sexual, love, whatever romance. To me, it's like a romance of the heart. Like, I just want to show you that you embody love for me. You know, that sort of romance. So with that, it's like hope that we can have that. We can display and express that. We have this, it's like this, it feels like the truth that you're seeking, that you're both seeking, is everything wants to start coming from the heart again. Because somehow with that, we've gotten away from the heart-led expression in the partnership to more of a like ego-based, I just want them to see me. Like, why don't they, like, why can't we connect? And then it goes right up into all of this expectation that we talked about. So this is like the hope part of this is like the what you are both seeking is from here, and you want all of your energy to go in that direction. That's what you both want. And that's the truth. The truth you're seeking is that very thing. And if you stop and question it, you'd be like, yeah, let's turn off the old stories. And if you do come together and you start to get into those old patterns, just shut it down. Just shut it down. Shut it down. Like, close the lips, shut it down. Embrace whatever it takes to just get from here to here quickly, so that you can start expressing from here more authentically. That's what that is telling me. And then let's go into the present energy, this Ten of Pentacles. We have the Four of Swords. Ooh, the Page of Pentacles. And the Two of Swords. So immediately what this is telling us, so the Ten of Pentacles is like, what? It's like, what could we really shoot for? Like the ultimate happiness, abundance in this home life that we have. What could we shoot for? Right? That's like where we are right now is, oh, we could actually make this whatever we want, right? And it's going to take, what this is telling me with the Four of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords, there's this whisper of a fresh start that's with us right now in this reading. There's a whisper. It's like, oh, wait, this could look however we want it to, and it has nothing to do with anybody else but us. So we've got to come together and think about that. Listen to that whisper. Okay, that's what this is saying. How to do that, though, is first of all, this is saying that it's highly intuitive. That whisper echoes in both of you because you've had it to some degree. I know you're going to make it even better, but you know what it feels like. So listen to that intuition. And this is saying, like, really tap in deeply to your own desires, your own dreams. What do you really see for you both? What do you not just see, because you might not be able to see it yet? What do you hope for? Maybe when you were younger, what did you hope for? Look at all the angles. Try to find that like open landscape, because that is here with that Three of Wands on the overall energy clarification. It's like looking at it in an open landscape, saying, we could build whatever we want. And then it's like, yeah, and then you get sort of like writer's block, like dreamer's block, like, So that's what this is saying, is like, don't stay in the block. You have all of it. You know, it's tapping in. You've got to go inward. It's not going to look like anybody else's. You might go out, I don't know, seek inspiration somewhere, but I'll come right back and see if it resonates, and then go deeper. That's what it's saying. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, because you're going to go right back to old patterns. That's what also that's saying. So let's go to the heart of the spread here. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Emperor. Funny, he should show up after the Empress in a partnership reading. The World. And the Ace of Cups. Again, I love all these doubles, repeats. So with the Page of Swords, with that inspiration at the heart, the World is like, oh my God, it's like complete fullness energy, not completion, because you're not, this partnership's not complete ever, right? You're always building and growing. It feels like couple things. The fullness, like there's how full could we make this relationship? How full? We could pack it with all sorts of stuff. Like, it's almost like, what little, what's coming is like, maybe we create some new traditions, some rituals. Ritual isn't the same as routine, by the way. Routine is sort of like mindless repetition. Ritual is sacred experience. Okay, it's sacred in the way that you both put your heart into it. You add meaning to it through that. Like routine, doing the laundry, doesn't hold a lot of meaning, right? We don't put a lot of meaning into it. That's a routine. But rituals, like, what could you do? Might be a date night, but think more intimately, this is saying, because that Ace of Cups is here. It's a real new fresh start from the heart that's coming. And the Emperor is like, to not feel and I think that's why I was called to say like routine versus ritual. The Emperor can be very structured, like can embody routine in a way, but can be very structured. This is saying, like, to some degree, like the structure would be to create some tradition or ritual. It doesn't have to be structured in the sense that it's on a time schedule, but that it's just you're weaving it in, and it's building strength, like the Emperor. That's going to be like, and it's not like you don't have strength. I already said this is full of strength, but you're like adding to that foundation, right? So the other thing I wanted to say about the World card, other than fullness, is it feels like with this whisper of like inspiration right now, it's so here, like you're like, oh, we could have whatever. It feels like that is the completion of a cycle you've gone through. This cycle that says, maybe we've been doing what we both expected a relationship to be like because of what we've saw out in the culture, what we were raised with, those expectations of what a relationship should be, a partnership should be. That feels like the completion of that cycle. It's like, yeah, we took it to its completion and it got us to this point of like ships in the night, not on the same page. That cycle's ending right here at the heart of the spread with this inspiration for the new start. Okay. Just think ritual, not routine. Okay. 7 of Cups. This is that dreaming energy, what could it look like energy. So we have the 9 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Tower again. This is really interesting. I have to take a leg out. We get the Tower again and all the sword energy over the 7 of Cups. With all of the, remember I said analysis paralysis? Like, this is a big cautionary tale not to get up in the head about this. This is all in the heart, because the 7 of Cups is all about heart-led dreaming, possibilities. And this is like 9 of Swords, like extreme worry, or just like, not even worry, but just like still up here so much. 5 of Swords, kind of the same thing. Like, are we ruminating on old wounds, old things we've said, old communication patterns? The Tower's here to say that's all coming down. Like, the old, that cycle's completing. And it's, I know from experience, sometimes it's hard to get both partners on the same page with that feeling, like of not going back into old patterns. Because once one partner goes into an old pattern, oh, it just sweeps us right back in, doesn't it? It's like, ooh, push my buttons. So I think this is like somebody holding, this is like one partner, if not both, holding so firm to that commitment to not fall back into that pattern, and to gently maybe illuminate, point out when the other partner says something that's not entirely helpful. And that's a very kind way to say it. Like, can I just say what you just said was not helpful to where we're going? And that's assuming you've already had the conversation that you're going, you both want to go somewhere new, because that's what this reading's about. Okay, Wheel of Fortune in the near future. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords again, and the 5 of Pentacles again. with this, the Wheel of Fortune being like the only constant is change, and things might be a little like hard to find footing, new footing, in like firm footing in the new way that you've come together to decide to go forward, right? You've come together with this hope that we've talked about, this new way of loving. This, I shouldn't say new, it's just bigger, this bigger way of loving. Maybe this more sacred way of loving. And Google the word sacred for all its meanings. I would never explain it sufficiently. So, Wheel of Fortune is just that feeling of the only constant is change, and sometimes it is hard to like latch on to what this is going to look like, right? And part of this is also like, don't latch on. It hurts. It hurts to attach, doesn't it, to a way it should be. And then whenever it's not that way, oh, it doesn't feel good. So part of this is saying, don't latch on. Be comfortable with constant change and like growing together. You know how when you are in a relationship and you might be young too, which is also hard, because you're also, and as a younger person, going through more and more change as you become who you are. So you might feel like, oh, we're good. Oh, we're growing apart. Yeah, now where are we, right? I can't even see you anymore. And so this is like, how can we always feel like we're not attaching to some idea of how we should look, be wary of shoulds, keep growing and stumbling together and keep coming together. So you're on these parallel tracks. You're not one person, you're growing together. And if it goes a little like this, then you recognize that while you can still see each other and be like, oh, course correct. So that's what this is saying. So this is something that you're nurturing for the long run, totally. And it's, that course correct is that Five of Pentacles. It's like we get a little disillusioned again, recognize that feeling, you know what it feels like, and come right back. Reconnect from where you learned to reconnect from, right there. So that's that. And then the Five of Pentacles in the near future. We have the Ten of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. So with that little bit of like, in those moments, I think in those moments of, I feel stuck. There's just moments of feeling stuck sometimes, and that's natural. And it might feel like I'm stuck because sometimes I still feel like I'm carrying the full load in this relationship. That's showing up here a little bit. So it might be a common theme. And it might repeat, and that's fine. It's all about recognizing it when you feel it and not slipping into this. Because we had a little bit of it before. But then in the past, it's been slipping into the judgment, expectation, not speaking your truth, expecting the other person to know how you feel. And this is recognizing that immediately and like healing those old patterns. Healing meaning bring tenderness to them. Recognize maybe where they're coming from. There's different attachment styles in... I'm not a psychologist. Oh my God, no. But I love to study this stuff. And so there's different attachment styles that some psychologists practice with, like secure and insecure. And sometimes in the insecure attachment, and it comes from like maybe childhood, when our caretakers were maybe a little dysfunctional with us in some way. And there are different attachment styles. You can read all about them. But I'm bringing that up because there is this element of healing something from the past, maybe, but bringing some tenderness to it. Like, Yeah, if this pattern repeats, slipping into the mind of like, and I feel like I'm carrying the full load in the relationship, why don't they just know? Why don't they help? And then you fall into that pattern of not speaking your truth. Remember, we had this earlier, justice. Speak your truth. And that Six of Cups is that healing of that past. That's calling us here. With when you feel stuck in that pattern, you'll recognize it now immediately because we're talking about it and you know how it feels. And come right back into that hope for the future, that 10 of Cups, which is all the love. Draw in all the love, that strength in your foundation. Draw in all the love and know that this is just a pattern that repeats because of an old wound. And you can do all of the work you want on that old wound. It's here. It's saying, might be time if you feel like that pattern repeats. So let's go with the Three of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands, the Judgment card, and the Chariot. Oh my God, right here at the end with the Three of Pentacles really depicting, signifying the strong partnership built to last. Like right here at the end, in the future, in the near future, like that's what you're aiming for, right? So we have the Judgment card. This is like awakening to that new way of going forward. There's just like it's a complete renewal. I can't believe we use that word. The Judgment card is a renewal. It's a complete awakening. Dropping the old skin, the old stories, the old patterns. That cycle has fully ended now. We saw it for a moment. We saw it was coming. That cycle, like, here's what cycles do. Be careful, be aware. And then when you feel stuck, what to do. And now it's like, it's over. You're fully renewed. The Chariot, you're off and running. You're taking the reins. You're both in the driver's seat. Remember that. You're both in the driver's seat. Not one person, both in the driver's seat of this one. And the Six of Wands is like, it's like complete. First of all, it's just in general, the card of success. So yay. And then I like to think of it also with this as you truly see each other now. In this whole, it's like wanting to be seen for who you really are. This card is like, oh, you do. You got there. That's it. And you're off and running from this point forward. Recognizing cycles repeat and they'll dwindle over time if you address them. It's not a one and done usually, right? With this healing stuff. When you go forward, you truly see each other now as if you're on the same page. Like you've moved from here to here and you're communicating from here. So I don't know, man. This was a beautiful story the cards laid out. I'm really happy for you. It might not feel great right now with where like you're in the heart of this with that feeling like that whisper of that hope, right? That desire, like all the feelings we talked about. If you're in the midst of the early part of those feelings of, I know that's not easy, but man, you've got a strong foundation and there's so much hope. So let's flip over our Oracle of Pluto card. This was a long reading. We have the Lizard. I like that. Remember when you do like the shadow puppets? The Lizard. Let's find it. I remember in this book they're not in alphabetical, they're not in any perceivable order. Lizard. Where are you? What's funny is with this deck, they're all shadow puppets, which is funny about the shadow. Oh, on the last page here. Does it not tell me what page it's on? How rude. I was on the wrong page. I'm not on. Okay. Bear with me. This book is wild. Lizard. 83. 2, 3. Okay, lizard. The meaning. Repeating a cycle. Unlearned lessons. I don't even have to tell you why I'm laughing, do I? Repeating a cycle, unlearned lessons. Lizards are often associated with the idea of regeneration, as they can regrow their tail should something happen to it. This indeed is a handy trick, enabling the lizard to not only get a major part of its body back, but also to do better next time around. When lizard energy is present, we too are being offered this gift. This card is also an invitation to take a moment and ask yourself why this cycle is recurrent. I'm laughing, you guys. I didn't look at this card first. These cards laid themselves out. That's that 6 of Cups, remember? Take a look at why that cycle repeats. That's that healing the old wound. Okay. This card is also an invitation to take a moment and ask yourself why this cycle is recurrent. Lessons have a way of repeating themselves time and again until we learn and integrate them. It may take us a few times to even recognize the common thread between situations, but once we do, we are presented with a choice. Learn, grow, evolve, do better, be better, or don't. And this same lesson will circle back around soon enough. If this card has arrived in your reading, it's likely that at this moment the latter has been true for a while. Consider especially the other cards around the lizard. What do they reveal about the crossroads where you're standing at this moment? We just went through the other cards around the lizard, so you know the answer to that. This could not have been a better card for this reading. It's just a little bit more nuance for everything we just talked about. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. This is my very sparse room in Costa Rica. I have all the essentials taken care of. I just tried to give you the best view, which just is out in the garden. So a little bit of greenery out there. There you go. It's not really a garden, it's just a hedge. So again, thanks for being here and all the best.